I think it's a simple principle that if we do what we like and that helps the society, we are finding the passage, the way to live our life well, while we are happy about it. And people get the benefit of it so that it makes sense. You know, whether it's the president of the large nation or small nation or small community or in family or whatever the setting is, if we find way to contribute others and feel happy about it, and if that's something we like, certainly that makes sense. That's the alignment of how we live. I mentioned this to my son when he was 17 because I was like a broken record, saying this and that, but it doesn't seem to fit. So finally I said, that's the only sentence I want him to remember. If he does, I don't know, but I think that makes sense. Um, Growth of individual from the early days. You do what you like to do as baby, and maybe drink a milk from mother's breast, or playing with the toys, this and that, and go temper tantrum. Sometimes it doesn't work, and the parents would discipline, so they learn what works better than the others. So there's an interaction with the surroundings as to what influence we get and what we think may be feasible action that fit to us. Sometimes this works well, other times it may not work well, so it may take time to figure out what we really like and find the passage into the future. But given whatever happens in the past, and given the habitual patterns we may have developed, we may still seek for a truthful way of living with sincere desire so that we find this alignment of what we do and we feel good about it and helping the people around you. So let's think about some example of how this may work. Actually, I want to start with the Zen koan. This is Dogen talking about something like this. It may not be quite the translation, but it's something like the bird can fly, but if he goes into the water, he will die. It's obvious. So that we want to know which environment we can play, do things that make sense, but don't go beyond the boundary. And that the bird situation with water may be some exception, except that some bird can swim in the water. So there are cases that if some issue like catching the fish and finding underwater may be a good way to keep living, that may be a solution. So I won't deny that such opportunity or possibility exists. But when you get older, as you age, and if you are a little late to pick up new skill, it's a very difficult process to go through. And unfortunately, some people, some of us may fall into the category because of the situation, the environment, and you may call it misluck or out of luck situation that you try this or you try that. Or you may get bored in doing something so that the mastery doesn't mean anything. You want to explore something different. Mastery may be starting from how you crawl and walk and run. So once you master any skill, whether it's just crawling and walking and running or making decisions and running the family or running the company or mini company, as I call it, in your area of responsibility, to be responsible and managing skills, that become important to acquire so that you feel good in what you do and helping others. Other people are customers, and then you are also the customer from other person's point of view. So there's a reciprocal relationship, and that's the connection to the golden rule. We are social being. we are aware of the settings, we can interact with people, sometimes well, sometimes not so well, but we can find a setting that we can excel. So this will be a lifelong journey to figure out. And some people may be excellent in this people issue, and they may become a leader in the political party. Hopefully, that is making sense for everyone, not just a certain segment of the population. But we may start from there, but over time, individually and as a human being, we want to be able to look beyond what we see and be able to connect so that everybody is part of the whole scheme and have the relationship. Do what you want to be done to others, in terms of the people, but also the environment, animals, or the planet, whatever the case is. Well, we don't have time to think in such a scheme, and we may need to address, and that's maybe a handful of things to do. Then that's the issue of how to prioritize. Which area is meaningful. We feel great about it, as well as the surrounding indicate that that is something that they get the help. So, as I said, this will change over time as you find your skill, whatever you have learned, because you may learn the bad skill too. So you just have to be aware of how things are constantly, because you may be changing while the environment may be changing. And you need to kind of settle and have a calm and quiet mind to assess this whole situation at occasion. Again, it's probably a new habit for many of us, and it's not the easy thing to do. And if so, we may just don't do it. But then that would put us into the molded, very limited situation. And that may be okay, so far as we can be aligned with others or sharing the joy with others and helping each other. But ideally, I think that's the kind of a passage that we want to be truthful and to aim to the point that we feel everybody can be happy by what you do. The passage is not easy. The learning is unlimited, and our habitual pattern and the past would come with us into the future. But still, there's a process of learning, changing the habit, and exploring the new future. And that's the fun of life, as I see it. And this is just a tiny shot of my expressing the feeling related to do what we really like to do and helping others. Sometimes we may feel like we're doing something, but we have no idea how it can impact. But over time, we've seen many people going through that. Over time and generations and the millions of years, we have seen new species develop to acquire new skills and prosper. And we are one of them. And it's a very interactive process. Interesting, maybe confusing process and a complex situation. But hopefully we have a calm and quiet mind to assess what's really is going on. And then find the passage so that our future is also, again, depending on what we really like to do, and truthfully and sincerely, and that also help the society as a whole. Thank you.